And we raised to the president that this country neither has the will nor the manpower to eradicate, if you wish to use that word, to deport 6 to 11 million people, depending on which figure you wish to believe. And given they're here today, they're going to be here tomorrow, and they were with us yesterday, there must be a process which allows them to legalize.
That was Congressman Luis Gutiérrez pressing President Bush on immigration all the way back in April of 2001. He was at the White House last month doing exactly the same thing to President Obama, whose deportation of nearly 2 million people earned him the nickname Deporter-in-Chief. But is President Obama changing all of that? Just yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security proposed 2 brand new rule changes that would make about 100,000 immigrants eligible for work visas, high-skilled workers and their spouses. But do these efforts go far enough for activists calling on President Obama to make policies more humane? And where is our Congress on all of this? Congressman Luis Gutiérrez joins us right now. Thank you, sir, for joining. What's your reaction to these new DHS proposals?
I'm happy they did it. I think, look, there's 100,000 spouses, and in this case, mostly women, because the H-1B visa categories and the visitors are mostly men. That means now that their wives don't get stuck at home, they can go out and use their energy and their talents in our economy and work. And make for a better, prosperous family when a husband and a wife. In many households, it takes 2 in this economy to make it work. So I'm really happy they made. Now, look, that's just an announcement, right? But isn't it interesting that Grassley immediately, Senator Grassley said it was a bad idea? And you know what the message is? It doesn't matter. Even when you do good things to promote our economy and to keep families strong, there's some Republicans who just don't want any immigration at all.
And it does seem that argument that this redounds to all of our benefits to be able to integrate these individuals in our economy is the one that seems to be failing now.
Why leave in the majority of these cases a able, talented, in the majority, woman at home?
Right.
When she can go out there and make the family stronger. And the other thing, Ronan, just so that we're clear, other countries compete for this same talent. And when they compete for the same talent, they said, bring your wife, bring your kids.
You know, Congressman, there's that argument, but there is also the human cost of this. This issue really tears families apart. Take a look at this number. Between July 2010 and mid-October 2012, people with U.S.-born children were deported more than 200,000 times, and that's actually double the rate of a previous 10-year period. Why the increase?
Well, look, the increase is very clear because the Obama administration has attempted, I believe, to demonstrate to the world that they're going to enforce the law. I believe it is also, it feeds upon itself because there is a voracious bureaucracy out there that all it knows is to hurt and to damn families, especially families of undocumented, because there is no real way to legalize your status, right? Because all of the old opportunities that used to exist for people to come to this country to legalize their status have been shut down by the Republican majority, and now we're trying to reopen that. But let me just say,
let's talk about the obstacles that you mentioned from the Republican majority. Iowa Congressman Steve King is opposed to all of this. He actually just spoke out on granting legal status to undocumented immigrants who serve in the military. This was his quote. He said, as soon as they raise their hand and say, I'm unlawfully present in the United States, we're not going to take your oath into the military, but we're going to take your deposition, and we have a bus for you to Tijuana. How do you negotiate with that kind of an extreme sentiment?
Here's how you negotiate. You negotiate with a Peter King from New York who said he's for comprehensive immigration reform, with 4 Republicans in my state that stood up yesterday. And here's the significant thing. Look, you want to know? I haven't been, and you probably share the sentiment, Ronan, with me. I haven't been as happy to see a Republican win their renomination to their party in South Carolina as I saw yesterday when Ellmers won the nomination of the Republican Party. That doesn't mean I'm going to be for her in the general election, but I'm so excited that she won because the message is very, very clear. She stood up for comprehensive immigration reform. She said that there should be a pathway, and the xenophobes, right wing of her party, attacked her viciously, and she prevailed. And I think the message is very clear. As Republicans, because they keep saying, they tell us, well, we just don't trust the president. No, you know what they really don't trust? They don't trust Republican primary
and of course,
voters.
Jeb Bush's recent comments, too, also speak to the place for bipartisanship on this issue. Earlier today, I want to talk about the actions people can take at home on this, because you've actually just done something yourself. You joined our call to action signed a letter asking Speaker Boehner to pass comprehensive immigration reform this year. We are doing that because we think it's a meaningful statement whether it happens or not. But is there a realistic chance for comprehensive reform this year?
Yes, and it's so realistic, and I think it is so important that I've been given floor speech after floor speech. So I was excited about joining you, Ronan. But let me just tell you, come and check my Facebook. I got 170 followers. We're going to put it on Facebook this afternoon. We're going to ask our followers to talk to their other Facebook friends, our 30,000 on Twitter. We're going to make sure that thousands and thousands of people, not just because this isn't about you've reached me. It's now my responsibility to reach others so that we work together in expanding and demonstrating we're the will of the American people. So I'm happy to do it. We're going to get you thousands of others to do it because my Facebook followers are just the greatest when it comes to immigration reform.
Love hearing that, Congressman.
And I have to say, look, I met with the president last month, right? We sat down in the Oval Office, and here's something, and you started with this, Ron, and I think it's important. The president kept saying, oh, I'm not a dictator. You know, I can't unilaterally do this. Congress has to act. I can only act. And you know what he said? But he didn't say that when we met with him 3-4 weeks ago. He said, Luis, I'm instructing Secretary Johnson, the same Secretary Johnson that was the legal architect of eliminating Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the Pentagon, right? That was his last job, to look at how it is people are deported and to make the deportations so much more humane. I think we're going to have small, significant changes in how it is that are going to allow our community to combat deportations. But I got to tell you something. If the Republicans do not act, and they don't act by the end of this summer, I think you're going to see the President of the United States take broader, bolder actions to save millions of people from deportation.
Look, it seems like this is an issue on the cusp of change. That's why we're doing this. Thank you so much, Congressman. Appreciate your work on this issue.
Good to be with you.
And as we discussed, effort to sign that letter to Speaker John Boehner calling for him to pass comprehensive immigration reform this year. It is on our website. Just enter your name and your email address and let us know why you're signing on Twitter at Ronan Daily or Facebook or via email. Up next, a blast from the past for Hillary Clinton. But how